Hello there, Happy New Year and welcome back to my tutorial on creating heads in Fusion 360. In this episode we'll be covering how to link up the rear part of the head and the neck, how to improve the jawline and some general adjustments to the face as we go. Let's begin. After selecting and combining the Alt and the Drag tool, we're going to create a new section on the top of the head. In fact, we'll be creating many, but in order to model the head most accurately, you should take your time with this. I'm showing you the process at normal speed currently, just to show you this isn't something I rush. And if you aren't already comfortable using the pinch tool, then this is a good time to practice it. It should save you a lot of time. As you can see, we're just adding more and more sections, which should all need a pinch here and there. We will slowly continue to do so until we reach the back of the head. I'm going to speed up the video now, keep repeating the process until you begin to near the rear of the head. Okay, we're back to normal speed. Now we want to do the same thing to the neck, making sure to select the whole edge of the neck, not just half of it. This can be done by double clicking any part of the edge. Try to rotate the neck section to the general contour of the model, but don't allow the sections to overlap due to over rotation. And we're temporarily going to speed up again and slow back down. Unlike the top of the head, the neck's width must be brought in, since necks are usually thinner than heads. You can skip this step if you're modelling the rock, but for everyone else, make sure to select the surface edges aligned with the neck. You can check by looking at your model from the side. Don't select edges that are above the jawline, and by using the pinch tool, reduce the width of the neck until it lines up with our canvas image. Yeah, that looks alright at the moment. Now feel free to make some minor adjustments to the face and jawline. The reasons for doing this are that the surface behaves like a ribbon of elastic. Imagine you've taken an elastic band and cut it so that it's one long ribbon, and you grasp an end in each hand. Keeping your left hand stationary while pulling with your right hand, you will notice that the elastic held in your right hand moves the most, the elastic in the middle moves half as much, and the elastic in your left hand moves a very small amount. The same happens when you alter the surface. If you adjust the vertex on the neck will move a lot, the jaw will move a little, the cheeks will move almost unnoticeably, but they do move. That is why I do it, just in case things have moved too much. Now we're back up to 400% speed, since we are using techniques explained earlier in the video. Feel free to slow it down if you need to. So just bringing in the skull slightly and just some general maintenance. Now with the rear of our head, we need to reduce the width like we did for the neck. This is to add curvature to the rear of the head. So all we do is use the pinch tool to reduce the width, like so. And then use that same tool on the edges further up to make the curvature more natural looking. Again, we've sped up to 400% speed to skip through some of the easy to follow steps. Feel free to slow this down if you like to work alongside me. So just some more head adjustment, nothing too precise, not until the rear of the head is sealed. Now that we have a bit more neck to work on, we can begin to create something of a jawline for our model. Simply view the model from a side view and drag the surface so that the jawline on the canvas image aligns with where the neck gets thinner on the model. This may be precisely on the surface edge, or it might be in between surfaces. Adjustments like this for the jawline are how you can really improve your modelling techniques, so take some time to achieve a result you're happy with. Back up to 400% speed once more, and we're just going to make some more adjustments. Notice that I'm aligning the surfaces of the top of the neck stroke jaw section with the surfaces on the skull. I'm doing this in preparation of welding them together, and this should guarantee the most control over the welding process. So notice with these vertexes, I'm trying to align them with the surfaces above them. Press W to get the weld tool and join up the vertices. And back up to 400% speed again, and we're just going to make some minor facial adjustments. Notice that they're not that accurate because the canvas image has been turned off, so I'm just trying to add a bit of curvature, that's all. Now looking at the back of the head, we're going to use the weld tool again. This time it's to simplify our surface geometry. Notice how many lines run down the back of the head. These have all come back from complex geometry on the face. However, since the rear of the head is a simple feature, we don't need all these surface edges, so we just weld them together to terminate them. You could do this further up the head to reduce the total amount of surfaces, but we do want to make sure there is no knock-on effect of a facial feature, so where I am terminating them is probably best. And now we're returning to 400% speed, adding another section of the rear of the head. It's simple. You may want to slow it down. I'm using the pinch tool to shrink the surface and rotating it to align it with the canvas in case you wanted to know. Yeah, adjusting the jawline a bit more. It's looking pretty good. Okay, now we're doubling our speed to 800%. I understand that I could cut this out, but I just want to leave it in for anyone who's really struggling. It's just some adjustments to the face, all of which we will be doing more of later on, but it's there if you need it. So again, just trying to smooth out those curves, straighten up those lines. This is in no way working towards the final form of the face, but it just makes it a more easy to edit model. So yeah, just making sure the lines flow quite well together. But yeah, don't be too concerned about what I'm doing at the moment, because we're going to do a lot more facial editing further on. This is just it's just trying to make things easier for you. Okay, let's return to 400% speed again so we can form the rear of the neck. We do this by taking the upper part of the neck and alt dragging some new sections, making sure that the vertices are aligning with the ones above them. We then repeat this process until we reach the edge of the surface of the head. I'll speed through this for a moment, but notice how I'm trying to align those top vertices. Now we view the new surface from a perpendicular or near perpendicular angle to align the vertices properly. We simply select our surface by its edge or individual vertex and drag horizontally until they align. I'll briefly fast forward again. Tap the W key to bring up the weld tool and link up the unlinked surfaces. In case I haven't previously mentioned, the order in which you weld surfaces can affect the model. In this case, it doesn't matter if you weld surfaces from right to left, vice versa, or from the middle out, but it does matter if you're selecting the top vertex first or the bottom, since the first vertex you select will travel more towards the second vertex, with the exception on the mirror line. Now on the back of the head that is fairly irrelevant, but while working on a detailed feature, it is worth knowing. Another fast forward, this time it's just some facial adjustments that in hindsight are a bit irrelevant. Essentially I'm just trying to keep the curvature smooth. Like we did earlier, we're going to simplify our surface on the back of the head before linking it all up. That means again using our weld tool to terminate more edges. So we're going to terminate these edges along here. So press W. That looks pretty good. Now we're finally ready to seal the head up at the back. We do this by selecting our edge, and while holding the Alt key, operate the arced pinch tool. And now we'll modify this until it flows naturally into the rest of the head. You'll notice that the canvas image is hidden for this process, and that's because we need to seal the head. That's all we need to do. It doesn't need to be perfect at this point in time. Our next step will be to join the final pieces. Rather than using the fill hole tool, I will select the sides and modify them close enough to weld, and then finally seal up the head. So bring them in, and then make sure to weld that top one, and then just weld the rest. Well, that's good. Finally sealed up at the back. Now just smooth out the rest of the head until it's at a point you're satisfied with. Don't go overboard. Remember, our head model, like most heads, will be covered under hair. Again, the rock appears to differ from the norm on this one. And if you wanted to know, this is at 1200% speed, so we're really getting through this. But it's just some head adjustments. I think they're easy enough to follow. Anyway, that's it for this video. I know it's been a while since the last one. I felt this one needed, a bit more care since there's a lot to take in. In fact, I think we've covered over 30 minutes of CAD in this video, so congratulations for making it to the end. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching, and have a great new year. All the best. Bye.